So this one happened to my mom when she was older. I'm not sure, maybe like in her 20s, and she was with my grandma at this really big cemetery. It's called the Gate of Heaven Cemetery. It's very big. It's like, I think it might stretch like 2 towns or something. Like, it has its own section just for babies, and it has like a big mausoleum and stuff. Just big. Anyway, so this one time when my mom and grandma, they're visiting relatives or whoever or whatever, and like, you know, friends, you know, maybe that see people that they might know that they might have passed away, you know, more curiosity. As they're looking at graves, walking around, all of a sudden my mom notices this guy, and he looks like he's floating. And she points it out to my grandma, and she's like, yeah, okay. She notices that. She's like, this is fucking weird. You gotta get out of here.
Let's go.
So they basically run to the car, and they're like towards the back of the cemetery. And it takes a good maybe like 5 minutes to drive out to the front because it's so big. It's such a big cemetery. And if you were to walk it, it would probably take like 20 minutes longer if you're like old like this guy was, but he was floating, so maybe it wouldn't take as long. And it didn't, because when they got up to the front of the cemetery, they were like almost towards the exit. My mom was like, hold on, I think I see a name on that tombstone right there. I want to see real quick. Let me just get out real quick, you know, and look at it real quick, and then, you know, we can go. She goes to get out, and who do you think she sees? He made it there somehow in like the 5 minutes, because if you're floating, you probably go a little faster than walking. But yeah, so the funny part of the story is she runs back to the car and tells my grandma that she just saw him. And so they're both freaked out, and my grandma fucking pulls out of the cemetery and goes the wrong way down one-way street. Every time we went there, we had creepy experiences. I remember one time we went there and we heard somebody screaming at night. We always went there at night to record for ghosts because we like to scare the shit out of ourselves, you know. Yeah, one time we heard a coyote howling, which, I mean, whatever. And there's this other time when we were there, and when we got out of the car, me and my mom heard something at the same time, but we both interpreted it as something different. I heard what I thought was a bunch of people talking, and just like as soon as I closed the door, it stopped abruptly. And she said she heard something at the same time, but she thought it sounded like a bunch of birds chirping and like flying, and then it stopped abruptly. We probably just heard like the same thing, but, you know, interpreted it differently, like what it sounded like, I guess. I always thought. And it's just weird because, you know, you always hear like, oh, a lot too many hauntings actually happen in cemeteries, even though you think they would, because, you know, they usually happen where people die or something. But